Two seniors on their final days of high school will do just about anything to finally get noticed. Meet Seth and Evan, portrayed by Jonah Hill and Michael Cera respectively, two lifelong buddies who will soon be parting ways as they are heading to different colleges. Both friends consistently discuss sex, girls, and relationships, even though they still very much hold their V card. The pair are each attracted to different girls, with Seth discussing how he wants to have sex with Jules, portrayed by the ever-enchanting Emma Stone on her official big screen debut. And Evan is head over heels over Becca, Martha McIsaac, desperate to get noticed by girls. Seth and Evan plan to make the best of their final days in school. Fortunately for Seth, he gets paired with Jules after scolding his cuisine teacher for not granting him an easy A. Get it? After a nice ice-breaking chit-chat, we can see how Seth becomes more and more infatuated as the class comes to an end. When the school bell rings, the two friends may just get the attention they desired when Jules invites Seth to a house party later that evening. Obviously, Evan will attend as well, as these two are inseparable. Ecstatic, both boys intend to promptly prepare for the occasion. Later on, Fogel, Christopher Mintz-Plasse,
gangsters, what's up guys?
excitedly announces that he is about to acquire a fake ID to get some booze. Though Seth and Evan are not too fond of Fogel, their interests spike up and decide to let him tag along to the party in order to buy alcohol. Having said that, Seth remains unconvinced they'll be able to pull it off. As if on cue, Seth runs into the lovely Jules, who seems to have a third eye hidden somewhere, as she wastes no time in asking Seth about alcohol. Maybe because he relentlessly flexes over his impeccable talent to get booze with a fake ID that's not even his. Shame on you, Seth.
Shame on you!
Without hesitation, Seth forgets about his doubts and eagerly assumes the role of being the booze man for Jules' party. As she walks away, Seth visibly panics and stresses about the commitment, hurrying to tell his two friends about their quest, threatening Fogel, as he is the one getting the fake ID and apparently has no clue on what's at stake in the situation if he doesn't pull it off.
Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Fogel leaves for work and Seth and Evan agree to pick him up later, choosing outfits for the night and practically doing runway walks as they wait for their friend. At their meeting place, Fogel almost cockily showcases the brand new fake ID. Upon inspection, Seth and Evan find themselves horrified over the piece of work Fogel showed.
Wait, you changed your name to McLovin?
He changed his age to 25. According to him, it's all strategy. His state to Hawaii, strategy. And his name to McLovin, also strategy. No first name, no anything. Just plain old McLovin.
Who are you, Seal?
We will refer to him as such from this point on. When the two boys frustratingly ask about the particular and certainly uncommon name, McLovin smoothly replies with, "It was between that or Muhammad." And
Have you actually ever met anyone named McLovin?
flawless logic. Either way, the two friends harshly scold poor McLovin. Growing more irritated, annoyed, and visibly stressed, Seth brashly decides to head to the store where McLovin works and get the alcohol himself. Clearly, this plan didn't quite work out when imaginary scenarios forced him out of the store.
Don't do it, kid. Never had a choice.
Coming up with excuses upon returning to Evan and Fogel. Sorry, McLovin. Seth still decides to push McLovin into getting the alcohol they promised, giving the poor mule a long and specific list to abide by. Beggars can't be choosers, Seth, but we'll let it slide. With his supposed best friend's continuous nagging, the booze mule starts flinching with second thoughts and is not so sure he can save the day nor the party anymore. Though nervous and insecure, peer pressure gets the best of McLovin, and he decides to give it a shot. The poor punching bag struggles to keep his cool inside the random liquor store and pulls quite a rude stunt with one of the employees before walking to the cashier, who of course asks for his ID. Just when McLovin faces the moment of truth and absolutely kills it, a masked assailant breaks in, takes the cash, and punches him right in the face.
So fucking close.
Immediately after, the cashier calls the police and two cops promptly arrive, portrayed by Seth Rogen and Bill Hader. What a cast. From a distance and without context, Seth and Evan witness the scene from the moment the cops arrive. Assuming he was caught, the duo prepares to hurry away from the crime. As they scurry away, Seth gets hit by a car. The vehicle's driver, who is rather creepy by the way, desperately offers any service in exchange of not getting reported. As you can imagine, the two friends demand money and alcohol, which the driver is unable to get. As a compromise, he offers to drive the two to a nearby party where there'd be girls and alcohol. Sold. While Seth and Evan set on their quest of girls and booze, McLovin is being interrogated by the police about the store robbery. The two cops then ask for McLovin's information, and instead of giving him his actual name, he continues with the facade, marveled over McLovin's name.
So it's Just McLovin?
The policeman then offered to give him a ride. Of course, he agrees. Back to Seth, Evan, and the creepy driver. The trio arrives at a sketchy house where the two friends do in fact take advantage of the alcohol. While at the party, the creepy driver runs into some trouble, which freaks Seth and Evan out, but not quite enough for them to leave. Following a small marriage dispute between the two, they get separated at the party. On one hand, Seth, unbelievably so, is dirty dancing with a girl who seems to be rather into him. Unfortunately for our main guy, however, his pants get stained with, there's really no easy way to say this, his pants get stained with period blood while dancing with said girl. When heading off to get clean, Seth notices a fridge that is stacked up with beer. Lucky boy. He takes quite a number of bottles with him to take with him to the party. All the while this is happening, McLovin is still hanging out with the cops, laughing and forming a hilarious bond with them. They get drunk, arrest a racketeering dude, and even shoot at random things. Good fun, good fun. Just as they get ready to get even drunker, the cops receive a distress call and they head their way. While still at the party, Evan, on the other hand, runs into some junkies who confuse him with someone else's brother. Apparently, that person's sibling sings like the gods, so they beg him to perform a song. Again, peer pressure wins the round, and Evan finds himself awkwardly singing These Eyes. After the performance, Evan leaves to find Seth, who is getting confronted by the host, as the girl who stained the clueless boy was dating said host. A fight ensues where Seth and Evan cross their paths once again. The two friends make up and leave the house without a second thought. After leaving the party, Seth and Evan have an argument once again. Evan regretfully says that he wasted his time in high school hanging out with Seth given the selfish nature that seemed to always get the best of him. We then return to McLovin and the cops, who are playfully shoving flashlights into each other's faces, laughing as they do so. Their fun quickly turned into shock when in the midst of the game, they accidentally run someone over.
We fucked up.
The policemen formulate a plan to not look guilty and ask McLovin to serve as their witness. Without hesitation, he agrees to help the cops. But can you guess who they ran over? That's right, it's none other than Seth himself. Yay, the gang is back together. The two cops intimidate Seth and Evan and force them to get on the ground.
I am the law!
When McLovin realizes it's his friends that are involved in the incident, he decides to turn his back on the cops and rescue his buddies. After running away from the policemen, the trio gets on a bus and finally make their way to Jules' party. As they get closer to their destination, McLovin reveals that he will be rooming with Evan when they move into college. Again, another argument between the duo ensues, with Seth obviously projecting on these two Dartmouth boys. Either way, they finally accomplish the mission and arrive to Jules' house.
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
As expected, upon arrival, Seth and Evan quickly become the center of attention, contrary to their earlier high school years. Later on, Evan is approached by one of Becca's friends, who tells him Becca has been waiting for him all night. Catching the hint, Evan notices Becca is drunk, and it wouldn't be ethical or fair to do it while he is sober, so he decides to get drunk. Wow, what a gentleman. Guess it's better than nothing, eh? After getting his groove on, they quickly get together and Becca invites him upstairs. McLovin, on the other hand, takes advantage of his newfound courage and his fake ID and dances with the girl from school. She apparently swoons over his suave moves and intriguing persona. She ends up thinking he is actually 25 and also gets an invitation to go upstairs. Score!
Cool. Cool.
Meanwhile, Seth is pretty much hammered and tries to flirt with Jules. He tells her he can't hear her very well, so they should head to a more secluded place. We all know that move, Seth. Come on, step up your game. Jules looks slightly uncomfortable and disappointed, but agrees to do so either way. Our girl is taken by surprise when Seth suddenly kisses her. She tells him he is too drunk and she is too sober. In fact, she doesn't drink at all. It wouldn't be right. What a girl, man. Seth proceeds to let out his emotions, revealing his fantasies and plans to get with her before moving on to college. Nevertheless, his embarrassment causes him to abruptly fall asleep, hitting her in the eye as he does so.
Maybe.
Ouch. Things are looking great for Evan, though. Becca is eagerly getting undressed in the bedroom, and they are telling each other how they feel over and over. However, while they kiss, Evan seems uncomfortable and tells her they are too drunk for this. Common sense, finally. Becca looks offended, but undoubtedly agrees after she throws up all over the bed. Back to the man of the hour, McLovin. He actually gets to have sex with the girl from school, lamely narrating the whole process. The two policemen arrive at the party and end up catching their friend in the act. Ashamed and saddened to have interrupted him, the two cops profusely apologize, confessing that they had known his age all along, but wanted to prove that lawmen can be fun too. Aw, so touching.
That literally This is the most moving thing I've ever heard.
Upon the police's arrival, Seth wakes up from his drunken nap and hurries to search for Evan despite their argument. Seth finds his friend completely knocked out and unaware of his surroundings. He proceeds to heroically carry him bridal style to rescue him from the impending doom that seems to be lurking over the party. Back at the party, McLovin now asks his new policeman friends to carry out a stunt with him. They lead him out of the party in cuffs and chanting, "This man is crazy," to make him look cool. That's what I call true friendship. Later on, the cops ask what his real name is, and he tells them it's Fogel. Both cops agree that he is not Fogel. He is McLovin.
I am McLovin.
Beautiful. They later crash, burn, and shoot the police patrol in order to account for the damaged car. Meanwhile, Evan wakes up in Seth's arms and asks to walk. They both hash things out, and Evan invites him to sleep over at his place. Before bed, the two friends have a rather emotional pillow talk in which they confess how much they mean to each other. Both of them admit that they will miss each other deeply when leaving for college, which seems a little like finally, some vulnerability between the two. Jeez. The next morning, they wake up and try to play it cool, acting as if the night before didn't happen and no mushy pillow talk had taken place. However, it is still very clear that they wish to spend some extra time together, so Evan sweetly invites Seth to the mall to help him get prepared for college. Also, Seth finally seems to be accepting that his buddy will in fact go away. Best bromance ever if you ask me. As they try to move on from the night before, a rather unexpected event occurs. Jules and Becca are right in front of them. Nervously, Seth and Evan approach the two girls and recall last night's events. Jules is sporting a black eye, and Becca shyly asks Evan if she had thrown up on him when drunk. Romantic. Over some flirty small talk, the girls invite the duo to spend some time together, Becca and Jules sharing whatever excuse in order to get the boys alone. Smooth. As they part ways with an uncertain future, the film ends. If you wanted to know what happened but didn't feel like watching, that's a pretty detailed summary of Superbad for you.